Hello, this is Vulturefire, and for me, this is day one of the game version 8000 beta. So this is the first patch of this beta, which means that we do not have yet all of the things that will end up being in the full patch, most likely. And on top of that, there are a variety of bugs and unbalanced cards that will be changed throughout. But I like to start recording videos at the beginning of the beta so that I have a record. Specifically, big new feature of this beta is a new character, whose name I do not know how to pronounce. Megier? Maighir? I'm going to probably go with Megier, but that absolutely could be wrong. And I don't know. So, Megier has his buddy Trill. And let's go to the default colors real quick. So, Trill is this like dragon bat thing that's amazing. And I don't yet know what all of Meigier's higher level passives are, because I have done 2 runs with him so far. The first one was, of course, the depth 1 run that you have to do to unlock the ability to play higher depths. And the second run, I played a proper summoning list where I was protecting Trill for the duration of the fight and using him to wreck shop. However, I've now unlocked level 4 passive, which says that whenever Trill dies, transform all your command cards and you gain Arcane Rage. I don't know how much I'm going to be playing around with Trill dead, but I am absolutely planning to throw Trill away for my own fleeting benefit. Specifically, I am trying to play around with Ally Sacrifice, because we got a lot of new cards this patch, including several ally sacrifice cards, such as Drain Power, which is I sacrifice an ally and I get Powerful 3. And Field Barrier, I gain 10 shield, and I can sacrifice an ally to gain Fortress 2 this turn, and Sturdy 10. I also have Defensive Command, which I lose 6 shield to give any ally 20 shield and taunt 1. This card is actually a reason to keep Trill alive, because once Trill dies, this becomes Shielded Onslaught, which is a whole lot less directly useful to us, which is something I absolutely need to keep in mind. Like I said, this is going to be my first time trying to figure this out, so I don't have a full plan in mind yet. That said, I may want a second Drain Power. Right now, the idea is that I have these assisted strikes and assisted analyses to sacrifice stuff for value. But yeah, so I don't fully know what the plan is, but just to look over. So I have video footage of all of the Megier cards right now. Terrifying Focus, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up changing. I don't know. It feels pretty narrow, but I don't know what level 8 cards are yet. I don't know what level 7 and 10 passive are, so maybe it's better there. Besieging Ceremony 1 is very interesting. So you sacrifice an ally, you draw 2, then this transforms into Besieging Ceremony 2 and it stays in hand. And once it is Besieging Ceremony 2, you can put 5 cards from your hand into stasis, and that'll give you 5 mana, growth 5, which feels a little weird, because that is 1 short of the amount that you need to get a mana per turn, obviously. It transforms into Besieging Ceremony 3 and it stays in hand. Besieging Ceremony 3 costs a whopping 12 mana. Of course, you did get 5 from Besieging Ceremony 2. It does stay in your hand, though. And then it will let you summon 1 allied Void Ravager. And Void Ravagers are very deadly. They do a bunch of damage, they give curse, they trigger the curse. When upgraded, they do even more. If we take a Besieging Ceremony, and we probably will, we will absolutely be upgrading it. It also goes poorly with Sacrificial Onslaught. I'm not planning to take this card, I think. Because I don't plan on keeping my allies alive for that long. But we'll see. That may... which is also why I'm not running this. There's definitely a lot that you could be doing. I don't think I like Final Command. Final Command is weird because if we do end up sacrificing Trill, then Final Command becomes a lot better. Becomes very good, potentially. But right now, I'm not really planning to sacrifice Trill. But some fights I will have no choice, because if there is only 1 ally slot, then Trill has to go. So maybe I should be planning around using Final Command. I don't know. Decision making is hard. And we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I haven't done this before. Another note here is that we now have a third idol, the Idol of Corruption. We invoke the... I haven't seen what this does yet, really. I've seen some of it because Zebo has shared cards, but it invokes the Spirit of Corruption, which reduces all healing and shield gained by 20%. And then it, of course, has its own new cards, varying. It has several new cards that do various things. I don't think I'm going to deal with White Flame Idol. I think the White Flame is just going to make our day substantially worse. Usually let's just random and see. Okay, so Endurance, I guess, is our third. This pair does worry me. Cruelty Maw is generally not my friend. We are going to go here and here. There are cards that care about summoned allies that we can find in these areas. And Emerald Dragon kind of scares me. That's the bigger thing. Let's go that. More max health is great because Megier has very, very low base health. I think he has 60 before the Forge upgrades. And we will see how this goes. All right. So we do have Storm Manipulator, which is good because that's where we want to go. It means giving up this left side of the map, which is a little unfortunate, but overall I think that's totally fine. Because we want to extract potential. Storm Calling is also fine, but extract potential is the one we would want more. These cards are fine. They're not really directly on theme, but they're probably not terrible. I think we take... so hard to pass up Lucky Die. Okay. So, one thing here is we can just curse that. Because our plan is to sacrifice it. Oh, another thing. So Trill, just be like one of my first videos coming out with Trill, with this character. But I don't want to... If you're watching this to learn how to play the character, don't. Like I said, this will be... is there a very good chance that some stuff has changed? Right, so we're going to get a bunch of growth from that. We are going to sacrifice you. Let's actually sacrifice you to gain Powerful. And then... Alright. So unfortunately we can't do anything about the AoE that's coming in. But we do at least get to avoid getting hit by the back one. Because we use Taunt. Oh, we don't have enough shield to use that. Seems like a good time to do that. I didn't think about the fact that we need shield in order to power that. That makes this probably something we want to get rid of. I also like that we just get so much growth here. Don't care about you. I could sacrifice something, but I don't think there's a reason to when the only thing that's coming in is an AoE hit. We may actually want other wit sources. Oh, I haven't played cards since an ally or enemy died. So much growth. That's actually a staggering amount of growth. Spirit Storm is very good. Elements of Refraction gives us something to do with all of our powerful stacking. These are like the two cards. If I had to pick like two cards in the card pool that we most want, well, I say that there's a lot more cards that care about ally sacrifice now, but both of these are incredibly good cards that we want to see. Spirit Storm really wants an upgrade, but I'm gonna take Elemental Refraction to see if I can make it work. All right. See what we get out. All right. Yeah, I am willing to sacrifice this. We don't get to use that yet, but that's fine. Oh, so Trill does damage and arcane and then also gets a little stronger every time it takes a turn. So Hello, yes, I would like some shield. Yeah, let's just get this kill. Oh man, that's actually very good value here. Because the adept then gives us the extra little bit we need, and we are just... we are ruining days. We're taking a little bit of damage here, but that's fine. This has been beautiful overall, I would say. And Trill has gotten to live so far. Kind of would take another one of those. Sec E even more powerful. Upgrades are great. There are a lot of upgrades that I want to have. This gives us Runic Sprite pluses, which give us more wits. This gives us 2 mana every time we sacrifice something, which is very good. I think I like the idea of... So I think this draws us 2. Yeah. I like the idea of getting more mana and more health on allies dying, because I have a hunch that's going to happen a little bit. It's going to happen occasionally, you know? Just every once in a while. So this guy is really big. Takes up a lot of space. Alright, unfortunately we are stuck eating this damage. But hey, we get a little bit of wits. Rude. We don't need 2 defensive commands. Trying to figure out how this mana works out. So we sacrifice this guy for free because we get the 2 mana back from the Absorber Demise. Then that leaves us with 8 mana, so we need to summon. And then we have to give up one of our sacrifices, I think. So the question is, which summon do we want to leave alive? I think the answer is one of the... I think because we use Blitz, I would rather get the... I would rather have this one survive. Oh. I miscalculated. In my head we had... Well, it's fine. Alright. Still getting the hang of this. We can Plundering Focus to draw a card immediately. Would love to sacrifice this, but I don't think I can justify it. Well. Now we are going to become more powerful. I can actually taunt here. That's totally fine. Because it's taking less damage than we are, so than we would, so. Troll didn't even lose health there. Continuing to stack powerful. We kind of need some way to actually leverage the powerful. Although this flips into Shielded Onslaught, which, yeah. So as you see, once Trill dies, we go into Arcane Rage mode. Our Arcane Detonations deal more damage, our strikes apply Arcane, and we take more damage. So, you know, some good things, some bad things. It's neither buff nor debuff, so it can't be dispelled. But it means that we can no longer taunt, which is very relevant, so something to keep in mind. Okay, so this gives us, so this is 0 cost if we have an ally, which we pretty much always will. It's Mighty 3 and Purity 1. This gives Tough and Cleanse, and we also get Shield per ally, which I think is the thing we need more right now. This is always very good. All right. I don't think we can freeze this, unfortunately. Well, no, there's no way. Unless we just, like, draw into something. I'm willing to draw it. Looks like that's going to be a no on blocking the summon. Let's go ahead and spend our shield on setting up whoever. There isn't anything to taunt with, but that's fine. Okay. These guys are jerks because they are going to try and kill all of our summons. But, you know, 2 can play that game. We could keep this guy alive, but there's no reason. And there's a very good chance that we end up killing Trill in order to get damage out. Because I don't think we're going to be able to kill this while keeping Troll alive. Alright, that's very good. Because that delays the next summon coming out. I'm going to do that for damage. I think that's the most... I think... So if we do this, we get to save ourselves. Which I think is worth it. Whoop. Hello, you are cursed. Goodbye. How about you bleed? Alright, so this card is now changed. We now discard 2 and put 1 on top of the deck. I think we do this, because this will just draw us a card when we play it. Which is always nice. Could just completely throw you under the bus. May as well do that. Pop us an Arcane Detonation for the Purity. More bleed for not us. We still have another summon that's going to come out from the bat guy, which we need to be careful of. I am willing to bet that by the time you guys get your hands on it, defensive command will not do what it does now. Because it just is so good at anything that's not doing, like this is obviously probably just doing AoE attacks, but anything that's not doing AoE attacks we can just ignore. Which is way too strong. can actually do that. Fun. Grow even more powerful. Alright, and some is coming out. Alright, we are at a ludicrous amount of powerful. Void Quick would be amazing. Like, I would take Void Quick over Extract Potential at this point. Don't need you. Say I'm going to pitch stuff. That feels very good. Oh no. Are not taking any damage here. Oh dear, that one seems to have died. Yeah, of course we can't do anything about the AoE attacks, but that's fine. Yeah, we really mostly just need more hits. That seems pretty okay. Unfortunately, don't quite get... We are going to be bleeding this turn, which is annoying, but we can deal with it. I said I was going to sacrifice whoever, but once... I don't remember this guy's big attack is an AoE attack. Which actually could be a problem. Oh, whoops. I missed out on the winner to play this. Alright. So now we find out if we have completely hosed ourselves. Okay, good. It is one target, which means that we can taunt to manage it. So that's our plan. 125 growth. I don't know why I'm keeping the Splash Spreader alive. Just because I can, I guess. Thank you for your service. We absolutely cannot afford to get hit at any point, though. Which, you know, is slightly concerning. That's pretty good, though. Alright, and Trill finished it off. So we didn't go for Void Quake, so I think this is the next best thing. Gives us powerful and it draws us cards, which are things we like. This upgrade seems very worth it. Just I think that's the most worth it thing. I think this gives us 2 turns of taunt. Could be very important. Are we going to have... How many fights are we going to have this one where we're going to have sacrifice Trill? It'll be fine. I don't know how it's going to be fine, but it'll be fine. I think we sacrifice that. I think card draws the... Or I think we upgrade that. I think card draw is the most important part thing we have going on. I think all the other cards have kind of held up so far, so we're just going to take a Lucky Charm. And we're going to see how this fight goes. So this is going to be tricky, because this is the first fight where we have to get rid of Trill. Worth it. Oh, I should have done this first. Because it's not going to matter, because that one's also going to die. So, if we do this, we get back... Try to figure out if we have enough mana. Okay, I want to play this. I guess you get to live for a turn. Just barely. All three of these guys can do AoE attacks, which is not my favorite thing, but... I think we're going to need that next turn. Steals all our mana, but we don't care. Alright, there's the other one of these. So, doop. Oh, I need to do that. So that's, how much damage is this? This is 6 times 8, which is 48, which is not quite enough. And none of these increase our damage. Oh. But that'll trip an arcane detonation. Which also means that we'll get enough shit, we'll get shit out of that. Which actually ends up working out phenomenally. And he's gonna... Okay, well, that was... I guess it didn't matter what... Actually, no, that was the absolute worst one. Arcane was the best because it would have done damage. Shock at least would have gone up by less. Whoop. Unfortunately, Frost ticks first. Okay. Oh. Ended up being a mistake. We may end up taking some damage here from the shock, because we're going to get shocked, and then we're going to eat a hit. Alright, yeah, didn't hurt too bad. And we have healing, so should be fine. No! Our powerful. Only lost one of our non-temporary powerful, though, so it's fine. Bye. Okay, so far we've been fine. Although we are absolutely not doing great in terms of survivability overall, I would say. Alright, we are going to get frozen here, which is annoying. Could have won by just copying the shielded onslaught, but I didn't think about it. Om nom 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 nom. Die for my value. Alright. Yeah, stuff here is getting nerfed. There's no way it doesn't. This will be pretty okay. We are going to have to deal with cruelty stones in the second area. And it just gives us another way to fuel. And it gives us some wits, which is nice because it'll help power that other card. I think we will take... let's just take item energy, I think. This doesn't hurt. That's fine. Just go here. Yeah, that's easily better though. Extra mana. Well, I say that. I don't really actually need the extra mana every turn. Alright, let's do some murders. Good news, Trill. For now, you can live. think I like this, getting rid of purity. All right. Just taunt that guy up. Well, I don't know why I bother putting multiple ranks of taunt, because he is absolutely not surviving for a second turn. But it is nice that he ate that freeze instead of us. Oh. It's annoying, but it's fine. I was just going to get rid of this. And there's no point in taunting because we're taking 0 damage anyway. I mean, I guess we may take 1x3 here. Oh, I didn't think about the rune being a problem. Oh, now I feel dim. Probably should have saved the transform until the frigid runestone came out. Let's eat you. I can draw this one more time this turn. Oh, whoops. In my head, I was thinking, I was thinking we could do it one more time. I didn't think we would get that kill, although I guess that ended up not mattering because that was just a nothing of an opportunistic attack. You're now shocked. Doesn't mean these damage numbers are now lying aside from the first one, because once we take a hit, things are fine. So we want to do this first. I could dispel. Doesn't seem super valuable. We're just going to eat that. We do eat an arcane detonation, which, especially since we're frozen, is unfortunate. It'll be a bonus damage detonation, but now we are no longer shocked, so we'll take less damage from these back hits. Did still lose some recoverable health, but I hope we can make it that up this turn. Kind of an unfortunate scenario. If I killed that, I can turn this into Shielded Onslaught, which will not kill this. Well, yeah, I don't think yet. Soon. I'm gonna lose, unfortunately, one more recoverable here, I think. Oh, no, it took more damage than I was expecting. Or I was further. Oh, I only have 20. He has 5 less recoverable health than other characters do. Interesting. So the frost will get blocked here, which is unfortunate. Getting rid of some purity there. I should get rid of this permanently. Okay. And just for good measure, We can taunt you. We do need more clones at some point. We are going to get frozen the next time we hit, so we need to be a little careful about that. Fine, just get rid of that. Get rid of that. I could freeze this, but I don't think it's going to live long enough to matter. I worried for a second that we were about to take a bunch of damage, but of course we're not, because our friend here is eating the damage for us, because it's just nice like that. We discard 2, which is going to be, I think, Calc Decept and Plundering Focus. Then we're just going to put the Spirit Helmet on top of the dropout. God, we are at so much freaking growth. It feels a little silly. Do that. Now if we trip fatigue, it doesn't matter. Because our friend here will just eat the fatigue for, will just eat the hit force. I really haven't used this dual tub yet. I just haven't had a good idea where I wanted to use it. Goodbye. Oh, now I can just Calc Decept anything, and we're good. Boop. Just doing completely reasonable things. I don't think any of this is super interesting to me. This is okay. Actually, that's also okay, but... So I'm going to just take this, or if I reroll. The other card here doesn't mean anything to me, but... Expansion and Void Quake are both very good. Void Quake in particular would go a long way towards helping me close out fights. I also really like this. So Besieging Ceremony, hopefully we can make work, and it's going to do some fun things. Take the extra Max Arcane going into the next area, I think. And I think if we take this, we upgrade it. I think that's just how this card works. And then, other than that, like, deck seems fine. Okay, Dama Broodmother is not up, though, so we will not be able to get Protect the Brood, which is fitting. Oh, man, we will be able to get Pursuing Hail, though, which I expect to do I think we're going to get Pursuing Hail. I think it's going to do utterly unreasonable things, and then it's going to get nerfed after I send one day a clip of us doing unreasonable things with it. That's the plan, anyway. Oh no, we're taking damage. They're now doomed. But so are they. They just don't know it yet. Alright. Let's do that first. So this is going to draw us 3 cards when we play it. We do have space in hand right now, so... Boop. Oh, but then it goes back into our hand and we end up at that's bug. Give me a second. Okay, so yeah, we shouldn't have this many cards in hand right now, but we do. So the next step is that we need to put a bunch of stuff into stasis. just temporarily make it go away. And we'll get it back over the course of the next few turns. And that gives us a Void Ravager, which we are not going to sacrifice. I think we just do this. And then we throw all the heat onto that. So the Void Ravager is going to ruin somebody's day. And we are absolutely willing in other fights to sacrifice Trill and make space for the Ravager, because it will clear things out super, super fast. Honestly, at this point, Trill can go just to turn on Fueled Onslaughts. I wouldn't normally do that, but I'm pretty sure that's going to survive. Screw it, let's just Duplicate the Onslaughts and just go to town. We don't have as much damage as I would like, but... Whoop! And then the... our friendo here is going to finish him off. Get eaten. That went very well. Warcry is very good as well. The fact that it is free if we have an ally is obviously good, because it will always be free. That also means it is immune to fatigue. Yeah, we'll just take away Warcry at this point. Taking Cleanse would absolutely have been the safer choice, but... Okay, carefully approach, that makes no outside movement. Get 1 shiny crystals. And we're going to take this gym. Do we actually care about this gym? No. But you know what? That's not the point. Now you may be wondering what the point is. And the answer is shut up. I didn't... You know what? Look, I didn't... It's not important. This is an unfortunate hand. Because we have no more summons. I think we pitch those. Alright, we can't beseech right now, I think. Maybe we could, but I don't think there's much we get enough value out of it. So. Oh. Eat that. Looks like we are going to be taking damage here. Oh no, because we're just going to freeze. So everything's fine. And it's going to eat a Doom proc, which is good for us. Less good for it. Look at this poor giant doing its absolute best. There's the Beseech again. This time we are going to Beseech. All right. Justified. This is going to give us the kill. Pop. Keep track of how many times I've sacrificed Trill so far this run and post it in the comments. This is very good, obviously, for us. We have so much powerful. There's no way this doesn't get nerfed. This is unreasonable. We have space for 1 summon, I believe. Fortunately, we weirdly enough do not have any powerful right this second. Alright, we do get to block this freeze from coming in. Does mean we are now on fire. Goodbye. No, you're thinking about eating Trill, about sacrificing Trill for fleeting tactical value. You know what? Screw it. We're doing it. Worth it. Oh, we already sacrificed an ally. This is now the other mode of that. Put the entire hand into stasis, which will give us enough mana to Beseeching Ceremony. We could actually copy this and then just like play the other one later, but... Alright, so we now beseeched. We now have a friend who will be rapidly racking up the damage. Kind of inclined to transform this, I think. Fortunately, it looks like we are taking damage here. But it could be a lot worse. Sturdy is a little bit of an issue right now. Like, we have cards that can give us sturdy, but we're not. I have to actually use them. Just go ahead and freeze. Bye. We have a Lucky Charm, Pursuing Hail, so this should do amazing work. It does damage and frost, and we draw it whenever ally or enemy dies, and that's gonna happen occasionally. Birch Ring is actually kind of hilariously not useful for us since we are able to stack so much. Yeah, honestly, this is probably better than the Black Crystal. Like, Black Crystal does speed us up a little bit, but I don't think I care enough. Mystical Evolution is very good. I am absolutely willing to go fishing for it, even if we don't, strictly speaking, need it. Well, I've got bad news, Trill. So, we have to use this because we want to do that. This is a little awkward. How many cards do you have in hand? Enough? Exactly enough? So you get more by doing that? Let's go that, and that. Ravager. I thought we had plenty of mana, but... We still have one more form of this to get through. This is not even its final form. Now this is its final form. Do that for shield. Honestly, just get damage out. We're pretty close to just having this. Oh, that was an AoE. Oh, that's fine. We didn't need that guy anyway, and that'll draw us back pursuing hail, which ensures that we can freeze here. We didn't need to, but we could, so we did. Bye. Mystical evolution. Oh man, I should have taken Absorb Soul. It would have been very, very good here, but I didn't. I don't know, like this deck just kind of works right now. I don't know if we'd need the Warcry, but I like it, so it's staying for now. Okay, so this is a kind of tougher choice. We don't have as much space here to play with, but I think we can deal with it. If we go here, I don't really care about either of those cards. I don't really care a ton about either of these cards. They're fine, but they're not crucial. I don't have to deal with Scorching Winds. I like just taking 2 events after the mid-boss. So I think we go here. And we try and do some completely fair and balanced things. This is unfortunate on turn 1 because we can't use it quite yet. Question is, do we just smash? I don't really want to give up Trill just yet. Okay, this is unfortunate because I really wanted to find some way to set this up, and B, some stuff for Trill. But I'm totally fine with throwing Trill under the bus for a turn. Like I said, we are probably not planning to get Trill killed immediately, but for now it's fine. Unfortunately, idols ignore taunt. Good news for Trill, I did have something else to sacrifice. Oh. All the purity that comes out is, of course, pretty annoying to us. Because it shuts off some stuff, especially because, like, then this all comes out. But we are going to at least avoid eating problems here, which is very nice. All right, only lose 1 actual powerful there. So definitely I'm starting to see that, like, I may want to cut, I don't know, like, we need to have a good mix of summons and the other thing, but I can see an argument for transforming, for like getting rid of one of the assisted strikes. All right. All right. Um, Just throw that in stasis so it goes away for now. I don't know, figuring out what to put in stasis is tricky. Okay. Oh, right. Good. Good. Because I needed a way to get rid of that so that I could play this. It's just going to die immediately, isn't it, huh? I've made a terrible mistake. I'm pretty sure it's just about to get AoE'd to death because I summoned it on exactly the wrong turn. Yeah, it's just dead. That's really dumb. Oh, wait. It lived. I thought it had more damage than it did. It took more damage on that first hit than it did on the others, I think. Or I'm crazy. Well, I was going to say it's time for Trill to go, but I guess not. I'm going to do this for the bonus powerful whatever, although we don't get... It's actually kind of unfortunate first that Trill didn't die, because it means that we couldn't get shield out of that other thing. Yeah, and now we take extra damage because we are now in turbo mode. Pretty unfortunate sequencing. Pretty sure we took extra damage there from the shock, even though I actually didn't get shocked. Should report that. All right. So. I think this is worth it. Should have played this first. Oh. Actually, so here's the plan. There's no way that we get through that purity, unfortunately. So we just have to eat this a lot of damage. This fight is going way worse than I was hoping. A lot of it is like just the sheer amount of purity that we're dealing with. Like I can do this, but it's not going to freeze. I think we're just dead, actually. Yeah, we are just dead. We have a Phoenix Feather, though, so that's fine. Learn something for next time. That's something being, wow, this fight hurts. I should transform that. So much for, like, Pursuing Hail would be very good, except the sheer amount of purity we're dealing with renders it useless. More sturdy is nice. Turn. This character, I think it's finally time for our friendo to die, unfortunately. Yeah. Alright, well, there's the army dead, but we're going to be able to get this kill. Boom, and boom, and boom, and there we go. So it wasn't cheap. Could take a second one of those, but I don't think that makes sense. I can just take a Sanctity. Guess that's okay, like it doesn't hurt us. I like this upgrade a lot, gives us a lot more value out of it. And then I'm not sure whether I want to actually cut an assisted strike. I could also see cutting a drain power on the grounds that we have like extract potential. I think we cut an assisted strike before I cut a drain power. We'll see. That may end up being a mistake. Ugh. We're probably going to end up restarting this, resting, and then doing it again. I think this fight is doable for us. I think, though, that... Oh, this fight is completely full. I thought we had space. Well then. So we need a lot of mana. This is awkward because like we want all of these things, or most of these things, to just stay, but I think having that Ravager active is probably worth it. Although, no, that was a mistake because now we can't use our deck because the board's full. I'm gonna have to restart on the basis of that alone. Because like we don't want to sacrifice the Ravager, but like if we're not gonna sacrifice the Ravager, then I want to play that turn out very differently. Because we've given up so many cards for basically no value. Yeah, we're going to have to restart this fight. Because we want to just save the Ravager for later. The Ravager does sit in hand until we need it. And we can also just not do the stasis. Oh, dang it, I need to rest first. Oh, probably end up restarting again after this. You know what, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and restart. I'm going to rest, then we're going to do the fight. This is me being a very skilled, good player, you know. Tough buff is nice going into that fight. I'm going to hope that resting once is enough. We don't have to do Glory in Combat, and like we absolutely can just do Knowledge if this goes south. But we unfortunately could not sacrifice. This is a lot worse of an opening hand. Right, we're going to be able to get rid of that Sinister Runestone immediately, though, which is nice. We absolutely need more shield. Really want to play that. Hopefully we get mana. We did. We didn't get enough. All right, well, we do get that at least. Now we eat damage. Yeah, our mana's fine once we get our growth going, but the first couple turns till we get the growth going can be a problem. So we can use that to get rid of that. gonna give us a decent amount of whatever. I kind of am tempted to do this just to get mana. I'd like to play this, but I don't think it's in the cards. Yeah, we get to keep 2 cards. I think we do that to set up for next turn. We're just gonna not summon the Ravager yet. And we're going to eat some damage. Unfortunate. This is the top damage of that cycle, so hopefully next turn will be less of a problem. Oof, just kidding. Yeah, we may just have to dodge this fight. It is going not well. Gives me some shield, but nowhere near enough. Yeah, and we just explode twice, 3 times. Okay, yeah, it's over. Quit, main menu. Yeah, we're just gonna dodge that fight. I should have known we'd like, especially with cruelty active, that fight was gonna just not go our way. The big thing is I didn't think about the fact that this fight doesn't give us space for 2 summons, which means that we can't have Ravager and we can't have Trill, which is a problem. So, do we care about any of these? Cold Realization is fine. I think of them. So this is now, yeah, damage and debuffs. I think we do this. We are going to need to get rid of Trill. All right. Rude. There's all that powerful. All right, now we hope we don't get hit too bad. Okay, that could have been worse. We do have to sacrifice that. So we can make space. Gonna cost us all of our cards. I don't know that that's worth it actually right now. Oh, whoops. In my head, I had a plan here. Okay, actually, here's what we're gonna do. All those are going away. And we can't play any of these. But next turn, we're good. You're going to suffer this turn, though, for my mistakes. Oof, we're going to suffer a lot. And all of our extra mana got taken away. Oh, right, because that's will give us shield. Is that going to kill you? I think it will. Boop. So far, Pursuing Hail hasn't gotten to really show off, again, because, like, it's so bad against the Purity. It may just be bad against Emptiness in general. Does give us that kill, though. I have just not been paying attention to whether or not I can get enough mana out for Beseeching Ceremony. Also, Mana Eruption needs to be in this deck. I don't think it is, because I don't think I realized that what exactly I had pulled off. There's a little bit of powerful. Bye. There we go. Pursuing Hail starting to kind of show its why I wanted it. Alright, there we go. I think at this point we would take another mana card. This is bad. None of this does anything for us. And then I think this fight should go relatively okay, but we'll see. A lot depends on how long it takes us to wear down the shield for the first time. Kind of priced myself into not using this Precarious Drop because I would like to block this freeze that's coming in. We are going to get shocked, but and we're going to put this on you. Slowly clipping through that Purity. Would have been so sad if that was an AoE arcane there. Alright, there's the Dispel, which is annoying because the Doom came out turn 1, so we are now super cursed. Which continues to just be a real frustration with how this works. Oh, that's going to shuffle. It's fine. Now's a good time to do that. I want to play this, but we can't right now. Well, I guess I'm not playing that anyway, so probably shouldn't. I don't know. Nice thing here is this should start taking care of the Purity. Triple cleanse, but alright. That's why I kept calculating deceptions. We get rid of this runestone as soon as it came up. Conveniently, we have just enough we can. Okay, so this is going to be a little tricky because I want to play some cards. I think that has to happen. And again, like, I don't want to waste this easy freeze. For some reason, I thought I couldn't play whatever. All right, so there's the purity gone. Rude. All right, so shield is going to break, which means that we're going to be dealing with the X2 attack, because that's just what it always does after shield break. Anyway, when one of the doors in the house opens, stuff starts lagging out. I don't know why. We're going to be able to actually freeze here, which is nice. All right. No, our mana. Get rid of that. Oh. I actually think this is more important. Bonus purity is nice, although we immediately spend it on the Curse from the Doom. It's gonna take off two whatevers. This gets us back 2 mana, which isn't enough, but it also draws us that. Remember what I said about Pursuing Hail being going to be very, very good? I think this fight has finally given me a chance to like show off that Pursuing Hail is just incredibly good. And we're totally fine to let it to get hit this turn because oh no. And takes off our shocked, which is nice. I think this fight is over. Pursuing Hail says you do not get another turn. And then just kill it. Okay. Spiritual is great because it lets us keep doing taunt even when we don't have, even after we sacrifice Trill, although it is also 4 mana, which is unfortunate. I kind of want to take the Crystal Research. Crystal Breath is also not bad, but I don't know. My problem with Crystal Breath is that it doesn't summon anything, and it costs a bunch of mana. And it has the same problem with like purity. This is probably worth it over the Purifying Shark. That's just a very good item. I do not remember what's in A3. Upgrading Sanctity makes a lot of sense depending on what we're dealing with. I also don't hate upgrading this just for the extra sturdy, although like we already get plenty of sturdy from each time we play. It's just about playing it more, so I don't know how much upgrading it matters. I think this upgrade is probably good. And then I honestly don't know. I still don't know what I want to cut. Move on. Let's see. So we want to go through here because we want to get convenient with shadows. All right, we are fighting Maw, which is annoying. Because we're fighting Maw, that does incline me to go after a clear focus. We're fighting a cruelty Maw. I don't know that I can afford to not have clear focus. I would really like to have this convenient with shadows, but it's way less important against Maw than it is against Baelator, I guess. See, I think we go left. Could go after these cards, but we don't care enough. We're just going to take events. I should split this into 2 videos, but yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be separate. It's going to split into 2 parts because of how long this video is run. So that's going to be for this time. I'll see you next time. Toodles.